one, live.
Live, hi. It's a Saturday, happy Saturday. It's the Hallie Quinn Show. So hello, welcome back. Today we always share with each other and we're like, okay, what we're going to talk about today. Mm-hmm. So for any of you guys who are new, we are both on our healing journey, our self-love journey, and that's why we are hopping on live every single week, because it's discussions that is definitely needed. Discussions regarding any kind of like transformation or growth or healing doesn't get talked about enough.
There's always like a new juicy layer.
There's so many. I mean,
there's never
stop.
There's never lack of content when you're talking about your inner healing journey, you know?
Exactly. And things are always coming up. So what came up for us this morning was giving what we need. So that's why it's titled Tuning Into What You Need. And we both had an experience with that. So we're just going to share with you. And feel free to comment down below or share it and join in on this conversation, because when we do not tune into what we need, then what are we doing? Are we ignoring it? Are we trying to get it from other people? Like, what are we doing if we're not tuning in to what we need? Mm-hmm. Tuning in and also delivering to what we need. Really following through. And so this woman over here, I just felt your energy of love, and because you had this experience at the river this morning, and I was like, oh, I'm feeling her good vibes. I mean, like, you expressed it over on voice text, so I was like, I really heard it, you know, and it felt really good and warm. So what inspired your morning moment at the river, and like what added to that emotion where you were just like, life is so beautiful? I mean, that's what she said to me when she saw me pull up. She's just like, life is just beautiful. I'm like, yeah, it is. Tell me about it.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. How were you tuning into what you needed this morning, basically?
Well, basically, the thing that I've come to really understand about nature is that nature vibrates at the frequency of love or God, you know? And so whenever I go to the river, I'm able to just like plug right into the feeling of unconditional love. And also I'm able to like reconnect into my body and to the earth and get grounded and like settle my nerves, you know, like the anxieties of living a life and having emotions and doing, you know, relationships and purpose and all of these things that we're navigating, right? So like going to the river just like brings that all like down, and then I can just like be present. And so last night I was kind of like feeling nerves, and I was talking to one of my very best friends, Eddie, on the phone, and he was in the same boat. We were just like both having our nervousness and talking about it and processing it. And at some point in the conversation, one of us was like, let's go to the river in the morning. Like, let's just like take, like, we know what the medicine is.
Nice.
Yeah. And so we're like, all right, we'll see if we can squeeze it in. We'll check in. I told him to text me around 7. And then he did, and then we were like, should we go? Should we get out of bed? The bed's real cozy. It's kind of chilly out, you know? And then we just decided, like, let's get up. And so we went, and it just was the very best choice I could have ever made for myself, you know?
Yeah.
And it helps me know that, like, not many things can get me out of bed too early. Like, I'm kind of not that early morning of a person, but that will get me out of bed.
Yeah.
Because it's like my deepest joy and like medicine. So just, you know, following through and having a person to do that with helps me personally.
Keep you accountable to, nudge you to like, no, let's really go.
Because you got to get out of bed and put your clothes on and go somewhere, you know. So
right, it's in the morning.
You know, like before breakfast, like. So that was my needs tuned in and executed moment.
Yeah, executed. So would you say you felt grounded afterwards? What was the emotions that you felt after the river, during and after the river?
Well, there's this moment. I was telling Eddie about this today because we go to the river a lot.
Yes, they have 7 favorite spots? Look at that. What, tour us, please. Give us a tour.
Yeah. And so there's always this moment, and I was able to articulate it with him today, where we get there and then we're going and we're on the trail and we stop and we look and we listen and we just get real quiet and we just like have a moment, absorb, and then we'll like get back up and we'll keep walking and like do that several times. And then there's always a point where it's like, all right, what time is it? Okay, it's time to turn around and start going back. And I always feel this tinge of like sadness in that moment of like, oh no, like this is about to, we're starting toward this is ending, you know?
Yeah.
And so today I just got to like feel that and be with it. And it was in one of these moments where we were like sitting and stopping. And so I just got to like honor the moment of change, the moment of like the loss is starting here. Got to go back to the world and the cars and the street and the tasks, you know? And I forget what your question was, but I guess you asked me how I'm feeling.
Yeah, what were the moments? What did you feel during and after from the river?
Yeah, then for after like having to process the little moment of grief and then going back, you know, I like moved through that, and then it was just gratitude. Just like so grateful to be able to have that moment and with someone I care about, in a place that is so easy and accessible and close and pure and beautiful. You know, the creatures. Yeah.
Gosh, this is why, like, it's rare for me to hear somebody say, nature is not my jam.
Yeah.
You know, or like, nature doesn't like, that you didn't have like a good experience in nature.
Yeah,
even I think we spoke about like even when you're sad, but you're allowed to be sad, even more sad, and be yourself and with your emotions with nature.
Being sad in nature is so helpful.
Yeah, so helpful. And something about it, like what you said in the beginning, like nature with like the energy with like God, like and just this is nature. It makes me feel more accepting too in nature because like this is nature. I'm not gonna. Everything is how it is right now.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and we get to appreciate and see the beauty that's naturally there. Yeah.
Another way that I use the river and nature to help me in my interpersonal relationships is if I'm feeling a struggle with someone and I feel like, okay, this is like something that I need to bring up or communicate, like a conversation needs to happen here. If I go to the river before I have that conversation and just like bathe in the love frequency, then I can get my mindset to love before approaching the thing with the person.
That is the best thing you can do before having an uncomfortable conversation with somebody, right? Because you're going to talk in a way where it's fear-based or love-based. And I don't know about you guys, but in my experience, when it's fear-based and hurt-based, just there's blame throwing and it usually doesn't get resolved.
Yeah.
But when there's love and understanding, you can walk away feeling like I did the best that I could there. Like I'm proud that I chose to be loving in that conversation.
Yeah.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
What a powerful tool.
Yeah, thanks.
That's here for us.
Yeah. So when you came in,
yes,
you shared, so Quinn was on her way and then she got stuck in traffic. And so she had to use that time in some type of way. And when she tuned in to what she needed, this beautiful experience happened.
Yes, and you can actually see on my Facebook right now because I was like, I just chose to express on Facebook. And I was thinking about people that are no longer in my life. That about family, my relationship with family, and I thought about my past. And I thought about the healing process, how it is such a part of life because pain is a part of life. And I was telling her in the kitchen, like, pain is every day. Pain is every day, whether it's a physical pain in your lower back to your emotional pain. And when we can connect with another human being sharing that pain, you feel depth. You feel, you said that's intimacy. You feel a vulnerability in a safe space, and there's that connection. And so those connections are beautiful to me. And I'm sure when you were able to talk about something deeper regarding your pain with somebody, you feel even of a closer connection with that person. You feel loved.
Yeah,
you feel loved. You feel compassion. And so with that said, yeah, I had a moment in the car where I just wanted to say this like mantra or this, and it needed to be expressed. And so I started like writing it down while in traffic, and it just went about being accepting. Like I put, like, I accept that I have my past pains. I accept that I will never be perfect. And that's awesome because I have pains that I'm always going to be healing from. And I accept that, like, the way that I'm with the relationship with my family is how it is right now. And I accept that. And then at the end, kind of inspired from someone that attends our meditation, Brandon. He was like, if I accept me, then I can accept you. If I can accept you, I can accept the world. Or if I can accept the world, then I can accept myself. And he applies that to love, forgiveness. It's just beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
I was a little inspired from him. So yeah, at the end I wrote that. And at the end I wrote, I accept that it may not be enough while I'm on this path of healing and growing and getting better and learning from my lessons. It may never be enough for somebody. And that's okay. And as long as I feel that it's enough, no matter what happens, I can have peace of mind. And I expressed a few times, but if there was a destination, it would be peace for me. And while I'm growing and I'm healing, I'm appreciating those moments so much, and to accept yourself is a forever journey. And when you continue to heal, you can really feel that, and it feels very freeing, because then you're not having expectations, you're not wishing for something to be different or change. And I know this is, right, we can think about so many things where we're like, oh, I'm not there yet, I don't have this yet, and it makes us feel very like hopeless and victim, right? And then we continue with that conversation in the kitchen where, like, where do you feel like you're not where you are yet, or where do you see yourself saying, well, one day, right? And there's a huge difference with like being inspired to continue doing something, and then also feeling like you're not enough because you're not there yet. There's a difference in these two areas.
It's a different energy. It's interesting, right? Because both could potentially motivate some type of change. But one is rooted in love. And the other is rooted in fear. And so if you're like implementing change in your life from a place of fear, it's like you can never get to enoughness, no matter how much progress you make. You can never really receive the fact that you're enough now. But if you're growing from a place rooted in love, then you're enough at every place on the journey, at every juncture. So that you can actually enjoy the trip.
Exactly. Yeah. What does that people say? We focus too much. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Well, that's exactly what we're talking about right here.
and this piece too around like unconditional self-acceptance. Like if we can't do that, if we can't at least attempt to offer ourselves acceptance where we feel insecure, then we're not going to be able to accept other people.
Right.
They're going to feel our limits of where we can accept them. And when someone feels like you're limited in the capacity in which you can accept them, they're not going to feel safe with you. So it's like the more you can like give yourself this unconditional acceptance, then you can really actually offer that to someone, and that is the most tremendous gift.
It's a most beautiful gift. I actually was thinking about this the other day. I always imagine conversations in my head. And something with someone asking me like, what is the greatest thing that you can give to somebody? And I was like, a safe space. That's I can't think of everything that is probably mentioned is probably within the alignment of that. Being like receiving someone that's safe for you. Because if someone is safe, then that means they really have the capacity to accept you. And if they have the capacity to accept you, that they have the space to really see you too, and acknowledge you and appreciate you, and you feel seen, you feel appreciated. That's a lovely, lovely experience.
It is, and it starts with the self. It's such an inside job.
It is. And so for anyone who doesn't know us on a deeper capacity, our inspired, passionate work is to support individuals on their journey. So I left a link for our Self-Love Exodus page. And also we host Meditate and Conversate every single week. So we're here to support you guys. We're here to be safe spaces because we know it's not a easy journey. It is not. And support is needed.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to X everybody out and feel like you have to do it alone.
I have a metaphor for this.
Yes.
So at the river this morning, there was this point where like Eddie and I walked down to go to a little spot, right? And there were some rocks and stuff. We had our moment. And then we were turning back around and there were like jagged rocks, and he went up first and he put his hand out and I like grabbed his hand, and I got up those rocks so easy, so fast, and was like, whoa, it's so much easier with help. You know, like, thank you for offering your support, because like, that was like a whiz and I didn't have to like lose momentum by like having to be off balance and like, you know, and it just really made me feel like that's like in all of life, like all of life is so much easier with support, you know? So I mean, sometimes it's really about like getting through something on your own and like supporting yourself. But yeah, it just like support is so essential to growth.
Especially in areas where you feel uneasy or terrified of, like the rocks. That's a perfect example. You're like, it's a little slippery, or it's sharp or whatnot, and there was support offered. You're still going to go up.
Yeah.
It's not like you're having him drag you. Drag you. You're still using
I'm doing
your
my
feet,
part.
your legs, your effort. You're still doing your part, and you're allowing support, right? That's so, I love that. I just see this picture of someone handing out a hand, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to depend on you all the time for it, but the fact that you're here,
I will receive the gift you are offering.
Yeah, we'll grab that hand.
Yeah.
Thank you for the extra boost of support. Yeah. And even with that, like with the idea and belief that we must do everything by ourselves, whoever taught that to you, whether it was indirectly or subconsciously, would you say that was from fear-based? That was like a projection?
Yeah, because when you've been hurt by someone, you lose trust.
Yes.
And so, you know, you have to like build trust up in order to receive from people.
Right? And I'm pretty sure any topics that you've heard us, or let me rephrase, any topics that you see that we've done with our workshop, it correlates with like everything that we just discussed, you know, like even with the trust part, with the fear part, like
the only thing we didn't talk about today, which we always talk about, is patience.
Oh yes.
That didn't come up, but you know.
Yeah, but that's, you see, this is why there's nonstop content and topics to discuss further on. Yeah, we even have a workshop. What was it? Did we do a workshop on patience?
Patience and intimacy.
There we go. Boom. So, our workshop's always going to be on something that you mentioned that you've heard today. Yeah. And so, you guys, we'll see you next week. We're working on our next workshop, and it's going to be called Heart Filter. That's going to be for November. And so stay tuned for that. All right. Thanks for joining us. Have a lovely one. Bye.
Bye.
Wave to these people. Okay.